we expect from the second phase of the trial that begins today?
So like you said it, Annette, we can expect victims of the attacks, family members of people who lost their lives, but also police officers and emergency workers who were among the first to intervene on the scene on that night of November 13th, 2015, who witnessed the loss of human life. So they will be taking to the stand. They will be sharing what they saw, the trauma of that experience, how their lives have changed forever, how their lives were shattered in just a matter of seconds. So around 300 people are expected to testify in the coming 5 weeks. That is a packed schedule of about 15 witness statements per day. And essentially, it is going to be a chronological overview of what transpired on that night of November 13th, starting with the victims of a suicide bombing outside the Stade de France stadium on the outskirts of Paris, before moving on to the people who were in the cafes and restaurants that were targeted, and that became a scene of carnage after several attackers opened fire at crowds of people enjoying a night out. And then the whole process, the second phase of this trial will end with hearings devoted just to the Bataclan concert hall, which will last for about 20 days. So it is going to be a long and very emotional process, if not the most emotional moment of this trial, with people, basically telling the court how they are trying to rebuild a life after that traumatic event, especially for the victims, considering that 14 defendants will be present inside the courtroom as they address the court. The victims will be facing the court, but the defendants will be sitting behind them. But you can imagine how difficult that moment will be.
And as you pointed out there, Valérie, it's a very emotional time for those survivors, and reliving what happened that night can certainly be traumatic for people that are going to testify. So as a result, has the court taken any measures to help them cope?
Well, even before the trial began, victims were invited to visit the courtroom to get acquainted with the space. There have been also workshops organized by victims' associations for victims to get familiar with the legal proceedings. Lawyers have also organized workshops and training sessions for the victims who will be testifying here today. The court has also set up a pretty unique system of an online radio system for victims to basically tune in from home and follow along. And this can help maybe some people cope with the trauma of having to relieve some moments of the events. Every victim's experience is different, but that is something that has been shared by people, being able to surround themselves with family members as they hear what is being said inside the courtroom, being able to take a break if it becomes too overwhelming. Now, also inside the courtroom, the authorities have taken certain steps to protect victims from intense media scrutiny. So they have set up a color-coded system of badges. So victims will be who are present here today can wear either a red pass or a green pass if they are open to speaking to the media. We have also seen, for example, inside the courtroom, people wearing blue vests. They can provide emotional and psychological assistance for people who needed that assistance.
Valérie Dekimpe reporting there from that historic trial. Thank you.